Woo! Hello, ladies and gents. Romie Reviews here. Please like, comment, subscribe. Now, when I tell you, I figured this, but I'm glad that I was right. I'm glad that we were right. It just didn't make sense. Kelly is still alive. Yes, I repeat, Kelly, the dum-dum, still alive. Please check out my other channel, by the way, Romie Whispers ASMR, and I have a new video up. I have a minimum of one video up per week. I'll, increase that soon. More info below, or the pop-up should be appearing towards the top. Thank you. Now, let's just talk about this for a couple of minutes. If Loving You Is Wrong, Season 4, Episode 2. Kelly's alive. Lucian is over it because, remember, Eddie, who we can't trust, told us that Kelly was dead. But Kelly is alive because Steven came in and said, "Oh, so you heard about Kelly?" Yeah, and he was like, "Man, this is crazy." And I was like, "Yeah, well, you can go and see her. How? She's alive." Well, I tell you, Lucian looked like he wanted to murk Eddie, and I would have been okay with it. Eddie was told to go and stand by his desk. Now, sit there, don't move. Don't go anywhere. You hear me? Okay. While all that's happening, Randall keeps calling the police station. So now we have Lucian who's like, "Oh, what do you want to do?" Lucian has his guy Rick. Rick's the other black guy. He has his guy Rick and some other dude, police officer, go and help out Randall. Let's just skip to that. So he goes over to Randall's house, and Randall was being snarky and rude as he always is, and he was saying how, why'd you take so long? Well, I called 7 times, and 7 times after I call, you finally bring someone, anyway, with your incompetence, who sent you? Oh, it was Lucian, was it? It was, but of course Rick is saying no. So then if it wasn't Lucian, then what? Who was it? Steven? Was it Eddie? Like, who else? Larry? I don't know. Okay, just come in the house. Whatever. Just being rude and ignorant as he usually is. And then he says, "It was Brad, my neighbor Brad, next door." Brad he's not even staying there. See, that's how out of the loop he is. Good. My neighbor next door, he's the one who did it. So they're looking at him like, huh? Yeah, he's not only is the one who did it, I have proof. I can prove it. You do you? He said, "Yeah, come in. Come on, look at my computer. I have cameras set up." Guess what? The cameras may be set up, but the hard drive is gone. So the files are gone. And guess who knows about it? Marcy. Yes, Marcy did go and steal the cameras. I'm jumping ahead a little bit because I want to make sure I don't forget. And those are things that I tend to forget when I'm doing a recap. So he's pissed. He's like, "Oh, Brad and Marcy. Marcy must have done it. My ex-wife." The ex-wife that you cheated on? Yeah, with the next door neighbor. Yeah, exactly. Her. She did it. Go after her. They look at him like, "All right, dude, have a nice life. We can't do anything about it. You don't have any proof or evidence. You need to just chill out." I'm thinking, I just wish Randall suffocated, but I guess that would be too easy. That would have been too easy. Anyway, let's go to Marcy. So Marcy's back at her apartment with Brad's, and it's just funny how things come to my mind. I'm thinking when Marcy was pregnant and she thought Brad was a killer and killed Randall, and how she went and attacked him and the police arrested him. This show is a mess. Anyway, well, they're at the apartment. He's trying to give her water. She does not want water. So then she said, no, I need something stronger than that. And then he gives her vodka, and vodka's clear. So she thought it was water. And he's like, "It's vodka." She was like, "Oh, okay." Gulps it. I said, dang. So now she's talking about how after she lost the baby, she lost it. Just like what we thought. She lost her mind because she lost the baby. And as a result of all of that, when she saw Alex and Randall in the shed together, that was it. She went off. And I wasn't mad at her. And because of all of that, that has caused, she said, "I wish both of them just burned. Brad is saying, Marcy, you don't mean that. Yes, she does mean that. But, of course, he doesn't care about Randall. He cares about Alex. She said, it's different for you. You still have love for Alex. She doesn't have that for Randall. And Randall took away life from her for the second time. So she wants him to go. And then he said, wait, but this is bad. What if people find out? You need to stay quiet. She said, no, I don't. I took the only evidence that Randall could possibly have. And she showed the hard drive. She had it in her purse. I said, smart girl, smart girl. So she gets a call from her new boo, the lawyer, Larry's friend. And he's calling because he needs the keys. Like I said, he's moving into his new house soon. And she has to go and drop off the keys. Brad offered to do it, but she said, no, I need to get out. So he said, okay, fair enough. Got all of that so far? But again, she took another drink because she wanted more. And I'm thinking, so you're not calling an Uber? You're not getting a taxi? You're not going to drive? What is going on here? Brad, drive her. She said, I'll be fine. I'm thinking, she'll be fine? Aren't you two sharing a car at this point? Because didn't Randall put sugar in her car? Okay. Even if she has a loaner, I don't care. The whole point is she shouldn't be driving by herself right now. She shouldn't be driving, period. Now, we don't see what happens there, so I guess we'll have to wait until the next episode. Let's flash forward to Esperanza. So Esperanza comes down and she goes to see Natalie. And Natalie is just, so Natalie invites her in and they have a conversation. They talk about how Natalie did not know that Kelly was going to kill herself. What Natalie did know was that Kelly wasn't doing too well. And so Kelly, oh yeah, excuse me, by the way, my laptop's a little crookedy, so the webcam's a little crookedy, so that's why I'm a little tilted to one way. Natalie said she didn't know Kelly was going to kill herself, but she read a letter. She read the letter that Kelly said to wait to read, and when she read it, she realized, wait a minute, why is she life insurance? Why would she, leave me her life insurance to take care of Justice? And that's what she called Lucian, and Lucian checked on Kelly, and that's when we saw that Kelly hung herself. Well, that's the story we have to go with for now. So Esperanza was like, it's crazy. I can't imagine me going and not being there for my daughter. That's just crazy. I'm thinking, Esperanza, in a perfect world, of course. Oh yeah, big up Esperanza, the actor who plays Esperanza. She was on Star last night as well. So I said, look at back to back, 9 and 10. You go, and she looked good. But that's not the point. The point is, why was it I knew that it was Esperanza as soon as, even before Natalie opened the door? I said, I know that stance, that silhouette. I said, oh gosh, I'm thinking like Eddie now. Anyway, but I'm glad that Natalie told her Kelly snapped. She got pushed to the edge, and that's what happens sometimes. And we just have to be there for her. We just have to support her. I said, finally, someone talking with some dang sense. And so then she says, now off of that, Alex. What about Alex? Alex was caught up in, she was locked in the shed and it was set on fire. Huh? Yeah, she's okay, but wait, we need to check on her. Yeah, so let's go now. So apparently the kids were home. But super quiet. I'm thinking, oh Lord, this plot line. Okay, all right. They go out and they go to see Alex. They knock. She answers, and it's like, how are you? Are you okay? Yeah. And then we get to the nitty gritty as far as, what were you doing in Randall's shed? I went to Randall's shed just to talk, to try and keep the peace, because things took a turn for the worse due to the fact that the paternity test came back inconclusive, and that wasn't Randall's baby. So then they said, huh? Who else did you sleep with? And she was like, I didn't sleep with anyone else. That's the problem. I don't know how this could have happened. I'm thinking, Alex, we can't believe you. We can't trust you. I don't trust you. Even if you told me the truth and I knew it was the truth, I'd say it wasn't the truth because I don't like you. Anyway, no, I'm kidding. but I would be grinding my teeth while telling the truth. Anyway, what happens is, while they're saying all of that, and she's saying, Lord, this just made things worse because, I was in there, and Brad, even though she lied about the sexual part, Brad saw, Marcy saw, it's too much. Now, all of that, Bennett is there, and he wants to go and introduce himself. So he comes over and says, hi, I'm Bennett, and he shakes everyone's hand, checks on Alex, makes sure she's okay. Did anyone see how Esperanza was looking Bennett up and down like, oh, I said Esperanza. He is your type, isn't he? Tall, works out, and probably and some type of European features. That's Esperanza's type. Black or brunette hair. Whew, she is a mess, but she looks good. Now, when we get from all of that to his wife coming, running over, saying, Bennett, you have to get to work. Bennett, come on, let's go. He was like, I'm sorry, she's just, a little nervous. And they're like, oh, okay. As soon as they leave, they're like, oh, girl, that one was a mess. A mess. So now we go from that to, at one point, Randall was looking and saw that Bennett's wife, she has OCD. She was checking the mailbox, but she kept checking the mailbox every 10 seconds. Actually, every 5 seconds, because this is TV time. Yeah, every 5 seconds. In and out of the house, in and out of the house, in and out of the house. I don't know what she was waiting for, but looks like she's going to be Randall's next target. We go from all of that to back at the station. Kelly is awake. And the nurse is there talking to her. Kelly has no idea what's going on. Kelly's trying to figure out, why am I in handcuffs? What happened? And they said, you tried to kill yourself, hon. And I'm thinking, was Kelly set up? Because we know how these shows are. Do I feel like she probably did it? Yeah, absolutely. But she was talking as if she was set up. But she was like, oh, just remove the strains. No, I can't do that. You need help, and you're still in jail. You're just in the hospital part of the jail, and you need to take this medication. You need to take this medication because one way or the other, we need to calm you down. And she was like, I'm not taking the medication. That's not going to happen. She said, I could bring in people to restrain you and put it in an IV, and you'll have no choice. I said, that's going to be a problem too. You don't want to force someone through IV. Thankfully, Lucian came in, and Lucian vowed. She said, I'm not going to do anything stupid. Let me talk to my friend. So then the nurse left and said, if anything goes south, if the doctor comes back, I'm blaming you. He said, understood. He's talking to Kelly and again telling Kelly, here's what happened. And Kelly's just like, oh, God, Travis. She snapped because she remembered that she killed Travis. She admitted that she killed Travis again to the nurse. And I'm just like, Kelly, be quiet. She killed Travis. Lucian said, you were threatened. You self-defense. He was like, no, I killed him. I'm thinking, Kelly, be quiet. Gosh, be quiet. So then he said he's going to do everything in his power to help her, but the reality is you're going to have to stay in jail for a while. The other issue is that Travis's family is very strong, and it sounds like prosecution, well, Larry's a part of the prosecution, part of the legal team, that they're going to go and move a motion to speed things up to get not only an indictment, well, I guess she was indicted, but to officially get the case going so that they could put her in prison, because right now she's just in jail. Excuse me. She's over it. And then Lucian showed her a picture of Justice and said, this is what you have to live for. Don't do that stupid stuff again. Don't you dare. And Kelly heard him. I mean, this is Kelly, so we can't fully trust her, but Kelly heard him. So aside from that, I'm trying to see what else was important. I guess we can go to Esperanza, because Esperanza, she was eavesdropping at one point, and she overheard the fact that that Stephen would be at this bar that a lot of police officers as well as firefighters go. And so guess who was also at that bar? Rick was there, but that's not the important part. That was interesting. We're going to get to Rick a little bit later because I'm remembering what Rick did before. Okay. Esperanza gets there. She's wearing a tight dress. I feel like that's all she owns aside from her work attire. It's fine. She looks good. So I'm happy. But the problem is that she's trying to play it off like, oh, I just came here because I had a hard day. Steven's looking at her like, okay. And aside from that, we then see, Rick's being nice. He gets her a stool and she's sitting down. They're having a quick conversation. And so Rick kind of realizes, I shouldn't be a part of this conversation. So he gets up and leaves because he said he'll get us drinks. And he does get them drinks. But Steven's over it. Steven's over being the booty call. He likes her. He wants to be in a real relationship with her. He doesn't want to be the booty call. And you can tell that's what she really wants. She just wants to have fun, be sexual. She doesn't want all this responsibility. So it's just like, oh, dude, really? Because she did the whole thing, I'll leave the porch light on and that will signal that you can come in. I'm thinking he's still going to go over anyway. You know him. But he leaves, and then she was over it, but she had a bone to pick to Rick as well, because at first Rick was trying to dig at her, saying, oh, so you came in for Steven. It's okay. He likes you. I know he likes you, and I know you like him. And she said, well, all that's cute, but you know what happened to Kelly, right? Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, but I told you to go and watch out for her, to believe her, to listen to her, and you decided you couldn't. You decided you didn't want to do that. This is when we find out that Rick, he also is involved with Travis's church. He's involved with Travis's church. That's why he did not help. There's a huge conflict of interest. I don't know if the church has something on him, but he just put it out there that, look, I know them. They've helped me out, and so I couldn't really help Kelly, which sucks. But at least now we know why. Now we know why he was acting the way that he was acting and trying to make it seem like she was doing 20 on 10, because he's basically saying, yeah, I believe her, but I couldn't help her. Terrible. Just terrible. Eddie actually shows up at the bar as well, because Esperanza leaves as Eddie's coming in. Esperanza was over it. She was like, let me go, let me leave, because Rick left, and so then Esperanza was talking to this other guy, and I'm like, okay. Eddie comes. He kind of almost manhandled. No, he does manhandle her a little bit. The guy was like, yo, you need to chill. What are you doing? And so before that, Eddie had a contact. Apparently, Eddie has his, it looks like maybe military or, Department of Justice buddies. One of those. He has a couple of his goons that he's going to use to attack Steven, because he wants to send a clear message that even though his friend told him that Steven left, and they seemed like they got into an argument, he was like, oh no, Steven will still show up. He said, beat him up within an inch of his life. I said, Eddie, this is not how you do things. Well, that is how he does things. So the guy was like, oh yeah, I forgot what terminology he used, but I said, oh, it just sounds wrong. It sounds creepy. So while all of that was happening, we then have Eddie go talk to Esperanza, and he gets into a fight. He gets into a fight because of the guy who was originally trying to hit on Esperanza, and he's beating this guy up. That's actually how it ends, because next week we see that the fight continues on, and Esperanza jumped on, I think, Eddie's back. There's something wrong with this group. Something very, very wrong with this group. I think that's all I have for now. If I missed anything, leave it in the comments box below. Thank you. Oh yeah, and I did my Empire recap. Star will be up. As also, check out my other channel, Romie Whispers ASMR. I have a new video up this week. I talked about my 6th grade middle school experience, so it was my first official storytime video. I have to check to see how it's doing. Thanks.